I'm with the very handsome Jewish man, Peter Rosenberg.
And his portly but handsome brother.
You didn't say portly last time.
I'm not going to say that. I would not say that about my son. And the very in shape and getting more in shape as every moment goes on, Cipha Sounds.
Love it.
And this is the Juan Epstein Podcast.
JD, before we get to your amazing history in this game, which needs to be highlighted, tell us about who you brought with you, your newest artist, at least that I know of.
I was just like on the internet checking out different kids artists that's like in Atlanta, and it was this group called We Are Tunes, right?
We Are Tunes.
They had the Nene song, right? So when the Nene song actually first broke out, I was out of town and I wasn't home to see exactly the explosion of what was going on in Atlanta. So I jumped on the internet to try to find out, try to see schools and see everybody actually doing it. And when I was plugging in, looking at videos, the kids that actually dance, what's the dancing team? What's the
Superbad.
Yeah, the Superbad guys. They was dancing to Rizzy's record. Now it could have been a trap for somebody, but you know, I don't think they would have ever thought I was going to stumble upon their video on YouTube. So at first I thought it was like, you know, they probably did this as a promotion piece because I've seen this done like that before. But, I mean, I kept stumbling and going through. And I heard it more and more times. And I'm like, this ain't a promotion piece. It's something else with this record. And then then I listened to the record, and the record spoke to the way I actually talk. And I say, goddamn, after everything that I say. Like, you say you want to go to Taco Bell, I would have said we got to go to goddamn Taco Bell tonight, goddamn.
Is that an Atlanta thing?
That's an Atlanta thing.
Okay.
When I heard that, I'm like, you know, this is really Atlanta. And that's all I am.
JD, you were a DJ first? Before anything?
Dancer
first.
Dancer first.
Clark Kent just said he saw him on Fresh Fest. Who do you think he was on Fresh Fest with?
Houdini.
Yeah.
I was actually on Fresh Fest by myself.
You know what I mean?
Then I actually, then we became friends, and then Houdini was like, you know, you should come. You know, they didn't ever ask me to dance for them. I was little. When you're young, you get a lot of passes where people don't even ask you to do stuff. You could just jump on stage. And
like, oh, it's cute.
Yeah, it's cute.
How old were you?
I was 12.
How did you end up on Fresh Fest though, as a kid?
Well, like, you know, it's the same thing. Like, it was the same thing. Fresh Fest was created in Atlanta, so it's by this guy named Ricky Walker, who's from Atlanta, who created the tour in Atlanta. My father was actually the stage manager or the road manager for the show.
Did you know that, Cipha?
Not at all.
Exactly.
And then you know, they all, you know,
Javier Dupri.
At this time, back in the day, when, you know, like, new artists come out and they get on shows, same way, you know, so they was like, we need somebody to open this tour. Oddly enough, on the tour, I became really, really close friends with Houdini. Houdini started dating these girls from Atlanta. And these girls, these girls that they started dating, were
freaks come out at 9.
They main girls. Out of all the girls that they was dating, they took these 2 main girls from Atlanta that made them their main girls. I met the girls on tour, and the girls was like, you know, we live in Atlanta. And I'm like, really? I think we met somewhere way far away from Atlanta. And I'm like, oh. So it's like, they was like, you know, y'all should hook up, pick JD up, take him out. This our little brother, blah, 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 blah. So it was like, yeah, I got a ride. I got some older
friends.
Yeah. Whoa, this is cool. So I get back home, I'm calling them like, yo, pick me up, let's go. They picking me up, they buying me food, they taking me, you know, they doing what they guys told them to do. So I don't know, something clicked in my head at while I was hanging around them that you girls should rap and I should be a producer. And I'm sure like that sounded crazy as hell to them. Like what are you talking about? And you know, what Clark Kent was telling you is that I created a group called Silk Times Leather, which was that group that we talking about, right? That was those girls.
Silk Times Leather.
Yes.
And what happened with Silk Times Leather? Did you get them signed?
Yeah, I got them signed to Warner Brothers.
And how old were you at the time?
16.
And you did the beats?
Yeah, I did the whole album. I wrote the album.
How is the album?
Terrible, but
I wrote all the songs.
I wrote all the songs, and I produced all the records. They had this article in Ebony or Essence or something like that about female rap, and the girls, Silk Times Leather, they actually were included in this. So I mean, we made enough noise to get
that
right. Yeah, we made enough noise to get included into a major story about female rap. So I'm walking through the mall with one of the girls from the group, and the guys, Kris and Kris, their mother sees the girl from the group, and she's like, yo, that's that girl from that group. And the guys is like, we don't know who you're talking about, and you sound crazy. Long story short, fast forward, they come meet us. She asks us, da-da-da-da, yeah. And I'm looking at these kids saying...
Whose mom was it?
Chris Kelly.
Chris's mom.
Yeah.
Chris Kelly's mom.
Yeah, Chris Kelly. Did you say Chris's?
Yeah.
But that's crazy because that's how I talked to them. Like I could say Chris to either one of them, and they always knew which one I was talking to.
Right.
I never say Chris
How?
one. It was just like that's just connection that we had. Like I could always just say Chris, stop, and the one that I'm talking to, he would stop.
So how old were they when their mom approached you?
11. 10 and 11.
10 and 11, and you're like 16, 17?
17.
Okay.
So she's trying to get the girl's autograph. I'm in the background looking at these guys, and I'm looking at the surroundings of the people that's looking at the whole thing that's happening. So it's people that's looking at the mom get the autograph, but it's also kids that's checking these two little boys out that don't even have a record. And I'm like,
But why were they?
What was worthy of them checking out?
they just
Were they
was fly.
fresh?
They just,
Okay.
they just
Fly
was-
little kids.
Yeah, they just was in the club.
they-
I mean, they was just in the mall looking fresher than they
Then-
supposed to be.
Do you write every word of Totally Crossed Out?
Every word.
What, you didn't want to get anyone else involved, or you just figured
It just came naturally.
That's what I
You
do.
just do it.
You just sat down and you're like, I'm this.
So you wrote, some of them try to rhyme, but they can't rhyme like this.
Bo.
Bo.
All of it. 100%.
Every bow.
Every bow.
Did they ever? Would they ever change things? Would they ever
Nah.
improvise?
Not in that time. Not that.
I mean,
elaborate.
you like the difference with me as a writer is that I stay in the studio 24, 25 hours, whatever many hours it is. I think it's more hours than 24. So for an artist, you have to outwork me, or you're gonna lose the battle of trying to argue with me if it's right.
Because you're gonna be there longer working.
I'm gonna
on
stay there longer. You know what I mean? Like even when I write for Usher, the thing with it is like Usher come to the studio and he'll give me an idea, and then it's like the night gets too long for him to just sit there. Because I mean, as a producer, you just in the studio like this, and the beat's playing, and you just there, and it's like you might sit there for like 2 hours, and not even the beat don't even. Then you change the whole beat. As a real producer, that's how producers do. So majority of artists that are into being flamboyant and going out and getting girls and drinking and all this, they can't sit in the studio and like take that process of just sitting there for 4 hours. So when you leave the studio, you basically have jeopardized yourself of writing the song with me because I'm gonna finish it.
If there was an art, and then the close, of course. Whose idea was the close?
Mine.
The backwards thing?
Yeah.
Did they resist it?
No.
They were down with it.
Yeah, because at the same time, TLC was my group too. So Left Eye was at the house when I was creating Crisscross, and Left Eye was creating, the patch over
TLC
eye.
was your group
Yeah, TLC was my group.
before.
Before they went to LaFace, before they was with Pebbles, they was my group.
What?
And I was just too young to actually move both of them. So like if you see that movie that they did on VH1, when they got that call to go meet with Pebbles, I should have been the person that they was talking to when they got the call,
Right.
but they cut me out the movie.
Yeah, well, you know how it is.
Yeah, you know how that goes.
But so you had
So I had T-Boz. Like if you ever interview T-Boz, she'll tell you the reason she sounds the way she sounds is because she's trying to mock me. She's trying to sing my demos. My voice is low when I'm singing, so I'm pressuring her to sing. I want you to sound like me. Don't sing it like you would try to sing it. Sing it the way I sing it. So the reason T-Boz's whole style is she's singing, trying to mimic my demo.
But
sort of like how Jason Alexander mimics Larry David.
At what point during there did you sign the Brat?
The second album, she rapped on the bomb.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And how long did that process take?
I was in denial. I wasn't really I wasn't feeling female rap, none whatsoever. And I was just in total denial of actually putting it out. And I was actually I really told her a bunch of times, I don't know even how to do this.
But what about Left Eye?
Left Eye was gone at that point.
No, but I'm saying at the time you were working with
Yeah,
her.
but
did you feel the
see, that's
same
what I'm
way?
saying. That's probably why I didn't.
didn't come
that's
out.
probably didn't why
Is
it
it
come
just
out.
was it about the music or was it just complicated?
Well,
Everything
I
takes
didn't.
longer.
I couldn't. I'm the type of person that I have to figure out a problem in my head before it's even heard. right? So therefore, if I can't figure it out in my head before it's put out into the world, I just try to abandon it, right? That's just something crazy about me. So with the Brat, I couldn't figure out how I was gonna get you guys to like her. I could like it because I'm a producer and, into it. But I was always saying, how do we get guys to ride in their car and play a female rapper's record?
I think you're still asking that question.
It's not right. That's a hard question to this day.
I figured it out, but it was the hardest thing ever.
The B-side helped.
Funkdafied would help.
Funkdafied helped too. I love Funkdafied.
Yeah,
Was Funkdafied the first thing?
Funkdafied is the first record.
Funkdafied's
a great song. That's the thing. Which is the one that with the crazy video with everyone? Give It To You?
Yeah, Give It To You.
That video is amazing.
Yeah, Give It To You helped. Give It To You sparked the B-side.
Biggie's in the video for Give It To You, right?
Yeah.
So how did the Biggie thing come to be?
Well, Biggie, Brat, and Craig Mack was all on tour as a new school tour.
I remember that. I remember when I was on tour with Junior Mafia and they would see the Brat sometimes like in the airport, they would lose their shit.
Yeah,
she was the homie.
That was their girl.
Yeah, so it was they was all like a little tour. This was like the little tour. They would put those 3 artists on tour. So then me and Big became like the best of friends because Big would come to me and Brat was busting his ass too. It was just crazy because Brat had the biggest song out of. I mean, Craig Mack record was stupid, but then Funkdafied was crazier, and then Biggie was just like the great rapper, and everybody was just like
waiting for his record.
Okay, but your songs ain't it, right? And he had Big Papa, and people just wasn't on it yet. And he'd come to me and he was like, yo, you gotta make me a song. And I'm thinking about it today, like it's crazy that Biggie was telling me I had to make him a record. Cause he had it the whole time. It's just timing wise. But he was like, you gotta make me a record. You gotta put me on a song with Honey then. You gotta put me on a song with Honey then. Mm-hmm. So he came to Atlanta. I did the Big Papa remix because he thought that I was his key to success. That's how I did the Big Papa remix. JD, you got to do the remix. You'll get me on the radio. So I did the Big Papa remix. And while we at my house, he was like, where Brat at? Tell her come over here and smoke. I called her. They start smoking. I played the outstanding beat. And I just kept playing with it. And I'm like, let's make a song. And I put the beat up, start doing it. And it just happened.
First album, the 1492 joint had
1472. You 1472.
Sorry, I thought it was Columbus. You had joints on there, man.
Yo, let's talk about
joints.
Let's talk about how slept on.
Yeah, it's very slept on.
History is that this is the first man who put DJ Premier and Snoop Dogg on a record together. That
Nas had a song in it too, right?
There's a bunch of things like that. That's the first record that Kanye produced.
Yeah,
is on Protected 1472.
Yeah. Funny that y'all guys skipped over Money Anything. Y'all do
No, we're not there yet. I'm not there yet.
That's 1472.
No. It's not even.
That's on 1472.
Yeah.
But let's not even talk about that.
My first single.
Can I not disrespect you in any way? But we've told the story about you coming to the tunnel with Hove a billion times.
Okay, all right.
Like we don't even need you for that story. Right.
It's history.
I have the videotape. It's been documented of people hanging from the rafters to see that show.
Yo, was that
put Jay over the top?
I was about to say, at the time, where was that timing-wise around in terms of Big Pimpin' and Hard Knock Life?
That wasn't out.
Way before.
It was before all of that.
Yeah. The biggest record Jay-Z had at that point was Ain't No Nigga. At that point.
Yeah, and that's not that big.
And that wasn't that big.
Oh, and Can I Get It was the next one, right? Can I Get It was out too. Yes. Can I Get It was first. Can I Get It was first.
Can I Get It came before.
Rush Hour. That was Rush Hour soundtrack.
Came before Money Anything.
But Money Anything's much bigger.
You said about Ain't No Nigga.
Yeah. No. Money Ain't No.
Yeah.
Can I Get A?
Ain't No.
Can I Get A?
Yeah.
Money Anything.
Yeah.
Now Money Anything is the one that like. I mean, there are a lot of people that for the main like my wife is a great barometer of that. Right now, my wife knows Jay-Z's music really well since she's been with me and since he's blown up. But at the time, that was what put Jay-Z truly on the map for like a random white girl from Maryland. That's
the craziest statement. Like when I be hearing people say that, it's crazy to me because I was, you making the music, so I wasn't even paying no attention to if people didn't like Jay-Z. You know what I was dealing with? I was dealing with the rap monster. And the rap monster was poking me every day like, Jermaine, you make records that go to the radio. Yeah. You make singing
People love being affected by
I don't like
negativity that I know you don't love it, but you can't help it. I know.
Successful
negativity.
Yo,
it's like what Wale still deals with. I mean, you make songs for girls that women like. I'm like, so no rappers can figure out how to do that. That's great. You should do that really well.
But listen, I wasn't. But for my album, this is me thinking like I'm gonna do a Jermaine Dupri album that doesn't reflect what Jermaine Dupri does as a producer. The first single I deliver to Sony is Money Ain't a Thing. They look at me and say, who the fuck is Jay-Z? And why would you put this out when you? By the way, I gave them one single, The Party Continues with Usher and Me and the Brat. That was the first song.
I remember.
And they was like, why don't you have more songs like this singing? I said, no. Jay-Z. If they would have known who Jay-Z was, or they would have listened to me, Columbia, at that time, I would be 10 times bigger than I am now. I picked Jay-Z up from the airport. He come in the airport, and he like, so what we gonna do? We don't have no song idea, right? We don't have no idea. On the way to the airport, I'm listening to him say that. I'm driving fast, switching 4 lanes, trying to get to the airport so that I'm not late for him. And I'm in a Phantom. I'm in my Bentley. I'm driving super fast. And I heard him say, deep in the South. If he wouldn't have said that, I would have never put that on that record. When he says, I'm deep in the South kicking up top game, I said, he's talking about down here. So he knows about it. We got to use that line. As soon as he got in the car, I said, this is what the hook going to be. As soon as we got to the studio, I ain't even had a beat made. When we got to the studio, I started fucking with beats, and I put that beat on, and in 2 minutes, he had his rap. And I was like,
Jesus.
Where did this come from? Like, did you already have this written? He's like, no, I just wrote it in my head. And this is like the first time I was witnessing somebody rap without paper. And I was like, I got to learn that trick. Cause I don't know what you just did.
Flex the road, sign a check for your hoe. Jigga style is love, X and O. Save all your accolades, just the dough. My game is wide, all names aside.